What's going on, Yankee fans? Welcome to Yankees on Fire with your host, Pyro Espinal. Today we're going to watch the second game of the series between the Yankees and the Marlins. Let's see. Give me a second. Okay. So the game is about to start. From the Marlins, we have. Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me share my screen. We're gonna have Weathers pitching for the Yankees today. He was acquired from the Marlins during the off season, and he's gonna be facing his former team today for the first time. The game was supposed to start at 7:05, so it should be starting at any second. Let's see. First pitch is a called strike for the for Slater. Second pitch is a swinging strike, and he's called out on strikes to for the first out of the inning. So he strikes out on three pitches for the first out of the inning. Ramirez is up next. First pitch is a called strike. Count is 0-1. 0-1 the count. Foul ball. The count is 0-2 for Ramirez. Oh and 2. 0-2 the count. Pitch outside for a ball. The count is 1-2. 1-2 the count. The count is 1-2 for Ramirez. Pitch is low for a ball. 2-2. The count is even. Count pitch is high for a ball. The count is full. 3-2 count for Ramirez. And Ramirez walks. So he's walked after being behind on 2 strikes, but now was able to put up a good at bat against Weathers, and now he's on base thanks to a walk by Weathers. There's Marcy is up with a runner on first and 1 out. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1. 0-1 to count. First pitch just misses for a ball. Count is 1-1. One and one to count. Runner on first and 1 out. And the top of the first inning. Foul ball. The count is 1-2 for Marcy. He has a runner on first and 1 out. 1-2 the count. Runner on first, 1 out. In the top of the first inning. And he strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning. Marcy strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning. So now we have Lopez is up next with a runner on first and 2 outs in the top of the first inning for the Marlins. Batter's asking for a timeout. Runner on first, 2 outs, and call strike right down the middle. The count is 0-1. Runner on first, and 2 outs in the top of the first inning. On the count, runner on first, 2 outs. On the count. Runner on first, 2 outs. Second pitch is outside for a ball. The count is 1-1. Swinging strike. Now the count is 1-2 for Lopez. One and two the count. Runner on first and 2 outs. Foul ball. The count is still 1-2. 2-2 the count. I'm sorry, 1-2. Runner on first and 2 outs. Lopez singles on a fly ball to right fielder Aaron Judge, and we have and Ramirez goes to third. So we have runners at the corners with 2 outs for Hernandez. You have runners on first at third, 2 outs in the top of the first inning for the Marlins. Hernandez is due up next. He has a 133 batting average and has a 449 OPS. Pitch just misses for a ball. 1-0. 1-0 the count for Hernandez. Pitches outside. 1-1. But it's called a strike. 1-1 the count. 1-1 the count for Hernandez. Runners at the corners. 2 outs. And the top of the first inning. Pickoff attempt at first base. Runners at the corners with 2 outs. Count is 1-1. Swinging strike for the count is 1-2 now. Batter's asking for a timeout. The count is still 1-2. Runners at the corners and 2 outs in the top of the first inning for Hernandez. The count is still 1-2. One and two the count. Runners at the corners and 2 outs. Pickoff attempt at first. Runners at the corners, 2 outs, and the count is still 1-2 for Hernandez. Hernandez triples and a line drive to center fielder Trent Grisham. Ramirez and Lopez score on a triple by Hernandez. So now we have both. So the Marlins are leading 2-0 thanks to a triple by Hernandez. Pitches low for a ball. 1-0. Swinging strike. The count 1-1 for Norby. Runner on third, and in the top of the first inning, his average is 150 and his OPS is 542. Count is 1-2. Another pitch in the dirt, and the count is 2-2. Runner on third, 2 outs in the top of the first inning. The Marlins have 2 runs. Another foul ball. The count is still 2-2. 2-2 the count for Norby. Pitches inside for a ball. The count is full. 3-2. Runner at third. 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Marlins leading 2-0. Foul ball. The count still full. 3-2. Norby grounds out third baseman Ryan McMahon to first baseman Ben Rice to end the inning. So the third out of the inning, the Marlins score 2 runs, and thanks to a walk and 2 hits by the Marlins. So now they have a two-run lead to start the game in the top of the first inning. Grisham, Judge, and Bellinger are due up for the Yanks in the bottom of the first inning. Okay. Grisham has a full count at 3-2. Leading off the bottom of the first for the Yanks. Count is full for Grisham, 3-2. And he walks. He walks. Runner on first for Judge. First pitch is a foul ball. The count is 0-1 for Judge. He's hitting 185 and has a 786 OPS. He hit his third home run of the season yesterday against Marlins. The count is 0-1. Runner on first and no outs. Aaron Judge flies out to right fielder Austin Slater for the first out of the inning. Bailey's up next. Runner on first and 1 out. Runner on first, 1 out. Pitch is low inside for a ball. 1-0, the count for Bellinger. Another pitch low for a ball. The count is 2-0. The count for Bellinger. The count. Bellinger runs up first baseman Connor Norby for the second out of the inning. And Grisham moves to second on the out. So we have runners at the runner on second and Rice up next with 2 outs and one runner on second in the bottom of the first inning. First pitch is in the dirt for 1-0 for Rice. Another pitch low. The count is 2-0 for Rice. 2-0 the count. Runner in scoring position at second base. And 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Pitch is low for a ball, 3-0. The count for Rice. Runner on second. And 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. Call strike. The count is 3-1 for Rice. Runner on second. Another call strike. The count is full for Rice. 3-2. 3-2 count for Rice with a runner on second in the bottom of the first inning. A foul ball right down the middle. The count still full and a runner on second in the bottom of the first inning. The Marlins are leading 2-0. Ben Ray strikes out swinging to win the inning. I'll be back in a few minutes. Edwards, Jimenez, and Sanoja are due up next for the Marlins. Edwards swings at the first pitch for a single on a line drive to center fielder Trent Grisham. We have a runner on first for Jimenez. In the top of the second inning for the Marlins. First pitch is a called strike, 0-1 for Jimenez. Runner on first and no outs. A 0-1 the count for Jimenez, and a runner on first and no outs. Jimenez singles on a ground ball to third baseman Ryan McMahon, deflected by the pitcher Ryan Weathers. So we have runners on first and second, no outs, and the top of the second inning. Pitch is high for a ball, 1-0 for Sanoja. Runner third and second, no outs, and another pitch high. The count is 2-0 for Sanoja. Runner on first and second, no outs, and the top of the second inning. A swinging strike. The count is 2-1. 2-1 the count for Sonoha. Another ball, 3-1. Call strike. The count is full, 3-2. 3-2 count for Sonoha. In the top of the second inning for the Marlins. Runner on first and second, and no outs. Okay, we have one out. Thanks to a fielder's choice, he grounded out into a fielder's choice to second baseman Jazz Chisholm, and the runner at second was out. So we have runners at the corners with one out in the top of the second inning. First pitch is low in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 the count for Slater. Runner on first and third. Two and 0 the count. I'm sorry, 1-0. Count another outside, 2-0. 2-0 the count for Slater. Foul ball. The count is 2-1. 2-1 the count for Slater. A runner on first and third and one out. Call strike. Count is 2-2. Sonoha caught stealing second base by Austin Wells. We had 2 outs and a runner on third. That's the first stolen base for the Yankees. I remember hearing the other day on Talking Yanks, and they were saying that what was going to happen first. That if I forgot what it was. I think it was if Wells was going to hit a run, if Wells was going to take a runner out or hit a home run first. I think that was what they were saying, and they said that he was going to catch somebody stealing before that, but I forgot what it was. What was the other thing? I don't think. Anyways, he ends up walking Slater now. Two balls in that, 2 more balls. So now the runner on first and and a runner on third. So and now we have 2 outs for Ramirez. So we have runner on first and third for Ramirez. Another walk. You can't keep giving up walks. That's one of the. You have to attack the strike zone. That's what I've liked about all the other Yankees pitchers that we've seen this season. So, seems like Weathers hasn't gotten the memo. You got to attack the zone no matter what. Okay. You got to attack the strike zone. Okay. I have runner on first and third, 1 out. First pitch is low for a ball. One and out. Foul ball, 1-1 the count. Runner on first and third. Mm. Two and one the count. For Ramirez, runner first and third in the top of the second inning. Okay. Runners on first and third, 2 outs, and the top of the second inning. Another ball, a 3-1 count. Jesus Christ, he's gonna give me a heart attack. There's nothing that bothers me more than let's see. He's already given up 2 walks. 3-1. Ramirez singles on a line drive to center fielder Trent Grisham. Edwards scores and Slater goes to second. So the Marlins run lead now is 3-0. One 0-1. First pitch is called strike for Marcy. 0-1. Oh and 1. Pitch just misses for a ball. Let's see if the Yankees challenge this pitch. The count is 1-1. 1-1 the count for Marcy. Runner on first and second and 2 outs. Another ball. The count is 2-1. 2-1 the ball for Marcy. 2-1 the count. Runner first and second and 2 outs. The top of the second inning. Marcy called out on strikes to win the inning. So he strikes out looking to win the inning. I'll be back in a few minutes. First pitch is inside for a called strike. Second pitch is a single strike, 0-2 for Stanton. Pitch is outside for a ball, 1-2. 1-2 the count for Stanton. The Marlins are leading 3-0. 1-2 the count for Stanton. Giancarlo strikes out swinging for the first out of the inning. Jazz swings at the first pitch to pop out shortstop Otto Lopez for the second out of the inning. So Wells is up next with nobody on and 2 outs. Marlins leading 3-0. First pitch is a called strike right down the middle for Wells. Pitch is low for a ball, 1-1. Foul ball, 2-1. I'm sorry, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody on, 2 outs. And the bottom of the second inning. Another foul ball. The count's still 1-2. 1-2 the count. Nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning. The count's still 1-2. Nobody on, 2 outs. Another ball. The count is now even, 2-2. 2-2 the count for Wells. Nobody on, 2 outs. Another foul ball. The count's still 2-2. 2-2 the count for Wells. Batter's asking for a timeout. The count's still 2-2. Nobody on and 2 outs. And the bottom of the second inning. Wells singles on a line drive to right fielder Austin Slater. for the first hit. Wells on first with 2 outs for Caballero in the bottom of the second inning. Cold strike right down the middle. 0-1 the count for Caballero. Run on first and 2 outs. Swinging strike, 0-2 for Caballero. Going to the count, running on first, 2 outs. Pitches outside for a ball, 1-2. 1-2 the count for Caballero. Another pitch low. The count is even, 2-2. Running on first and 2 outs. And the bottom of the second inning. Pickoff attempt at first base. The count still even at 2-2 for Caballero. Caballero strikes out swinging to end the inning. We have Lopez, Hernandez, and Norby are due up next for the Marlins in the bottom of the third inning. The Marlins are leading 3-0. I'll be back in a few minutes. First pitch is outside for a ball. Second pitch is a foul ball, 1-1 for Lopez. One and one the count for Lopez. Nobody on and no outs in the top of the third inning. A called strike. The count is 1-2 for Lopez. Foul ball. The count's still 1-2 for Lopez. Batter's asking for a timeout. The count's still 1-2. Lopez flies out to left fielder Cody Bellinger for the first out of the inning. One out for Hernandez, nobody on, and the top of the third inning. First pitch misses outside for a ball. A pitch is high, 2-0. 2-0 the count for Hernandez. Call strike, 2-1 the count for Hernandez. Nobody on and one out in the top of the third inning. Count is 2-1. Nobody on, one out. 3-1. 3-1 the count for Hernandez. Oh wait, one of the pitches was overturned, so the count is actually 2-2, not 3-1. Oh, flies out to right fielder Aaron Judge for the second out of the inning. Norby's up next. He's 0 for 1 today with a 143 average and a 518 OPS. We have 2 outs in the top of the third inning. First pitch is a foul ball, 0-1. Nobody on and 2 outs in the top of the third inning. Swinging strike. The count is 0-2 for Norby. To the count for Norby. And he strikes out looking for the third out of the inning. I'll be back. First pitch is inside for a ball. Second pitch is down and in for a ball. Third pitch is right down the middle. So the count is 2-1 for Edwards. 2-1 the count for Edwards. Batter's asking for a timeout. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh. Mm-hmm. Another walk. Oh my goodness. Third walk of the game for this guy. You have to attack the strike zone, bro. Jesus Christ. Gotta attack the strike zone. Okay? Yeah, runner on first and second and 2 outs. So, and the count is 1. We at top of the third inning. Runner on first and second. First pitch is a foul ball. 0-1 for Jimenez. We have runner on first and second, and the top of the third inning. Oh, 1-1 the count. Pitch misses inside for a ball. 1-1. 1-1 the count for Jimenez. We have foul ball. 1-2 the count for Jimenez. Runner on first and second and 2 outs. Pitch is low for a ball. The count is even. 2-2. 2-2 the count for Jimenez. Runner on first and second. Jimenez grounds out shortstop Caballero to first baseman Ben Rice to end the inning. Pitch right down the middle for a call strike. 0-1 for McMahon. Another call strike for McMahon. The count is 0-2. 0-2 the count for McMahon. Into the count. McMahon reaches on an error by the shortstop. So he's running around first and no outs. They have Grisham up next and Judge. Grisham and Judge that are due up next. No. First pitch was a called strike. Second pitch misses outside for a ball. Third pitch misses inside for the count is 1-2 for Grisham. Another pitch that just misses inside. The count is 1-3 for 3-1. 3 balls, 1 strike for Grisham. 3 balls, 1 strike. 3-1. One of the fourth pitch was overturned, so the count is 2-2. Pickoff attempt at first base. 2-2 the count for Grisham. Runner on first and no outs. Foul ball. The count still even at 2-2. Runner on first and no outs. Bottom of the third inning. Pitch is high for a ball. 3-2. Full count for Grisham. Full count for Grisham. Runner on first and no outs. Full count for Grisham. Runner on first. Grisham walks, and we have runner on first and second for Judge, who's 0 for 1 today and has a 179 average, 758 OPS. Grisham has 2 walks today. Mm. 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 First pitch is outside for a called strike. Another called strike low. Count is 0-2 for Judge. 0-2 the count for Judge. 0-2 the count for Judge. Judge lines out shortly to center fielder Jacob Marcy. Ryan McMahon to third. So there's one out and runners on first and third. McMahon is at third and Grisham is at first. First pitch is outside for a ball, 1-0 for Bellinger. 1-0 the count for Belly. Runner on first and third. Pitch misses outside. 2-0 the count for Belly. 2-0 the count. Runner on first and third and one out. Another ball. The count is 3-0 for Bellinger. Runner on first and third and one out. Bellinger walks on 4 pitches. Rice is up next with the bases loaded. And one out. Bases loaded, 1 out for Ben Rice. Mound visit by the Marlins. Yeah, bases loaded, and they have the bases loaded with 1 out for Rice. Mm. First pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. 1-0. 1-0 the count for Rice. Bases loaded, and 1 out. Swinging strike, 1-1 the count. Pitches low for a ball, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike for Rice. Bases loaded and 1 out. Swinging strike. The count is even, 2-2 for Rice. So the count is even, 2-2. Bases loaded and 1 out. He strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning. Okay, so Rice is up next with base for the bases loaded and 2 outs. Pitch is low for a ball, 1-0. Marlins are leading 3-0 in the bottom of the third inning. Pitch is inside for a ball, 2-0 for Stanton, who's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout. Pitch is inside for a ball, 3-0. Three and 0 the count for Stanton. Call strike. 3-1. 3-1 the count for Stanton. Stanton pops out to the catcher to end the inning for the third out of the inning. So the Yankees have had chances to score runs, but so far they haven't scored any runs today. So that's 3-0. The Marlins are leading 3-0. I'll be back in a few minutes. Yes. Sanoja strikes out for the first out of the inning. First out of the inning. First pitch is called strike, 0-1. Pitch misses up inside for a ball, 1-1. Pitch in the dirt, 2-1. 2-1 went out. Pitch is 2-1. Slater lines out sharply to left fielder Cody Bellinger for the second out of the inning. Ramirez is up next. Nobody on, 2 outs, top of the fourth inning. So with 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning, the Yankees decided to bring in Blackburn to replace Weathers. Make sure you like and subscribe to my content. Okay. The subscriber 100 is going to win a Yankees hat in whatever color you want. The only condition, you must live in the U.S. First pitch for Blackburn is a swinging strike by Ramirez. The count is 0-1. 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. The Marlins are leading 3-0. Pitches outside, 1-1. I'm sorry, 2-0. 0-2. 0-2 the count for Ramirez. Nobody on, and 2 outs. Ramirez singles on a ground ball to third baseman Ryan McMahon. Ramirez is 2 for 2 today. Now we have Ramirez up next. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts today. Has a 107 average and a 402 OPS. Runner on first and 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. Marlins leading 3-zip. Pickoff attempt at first base. Runner on first, 2 outs, top of the fourth inning. Foul ball, 0-1. Oh, and 1 the count for Marcy. Going on the count for Marcy. Pitches outside, 1-1. Call strike, 1-2. One into the count for Marcy. Runner on first and 2 outs. One and two. Marcy singles on a line drive to left field to Cody Bellinger. Ramirez scores, and Jacob Marcy goes to third on the throwing error by left fielder Cody Bellinger. So you have runners on first and third and 2 outs in the top of the fourth inning. Blackburn hasn't been able to get any outs. He came in to get 1 out, and he's given up 3 hits at this inning. Count is good. There's an injury delay on the field. We have seems like an umpire got injured during the game. Let's see how long this takes. I will assume once the umpire's issue has been resolved. Make sure that you like and subscribe my content. Subscribe to my content, okay? The subscriber 100 is going to win a Yankee hat in whatever color you want. Make sure you live in the US.